Okay. A very good evening, everyone. Just to introduce myself, I am Angelica. I am the Events and Mentorship Program Coordinator here at Thai Dubai, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to today's session. At our last event, was anyone here at our last event? It was held on a Saturday morning. Okay, great. Nice to see some familiar faces. So we explored how self awareness, growth, and performance shape high performing teams and organizations. And we reflected on how understanding ourselves and those around us lead to better leadership and stronger cultures. And tonight, we take that a step further because even the best ideas and leadership skills need one critical ability, and that is communication. Public speaking isn't just about mic test, okay. So public speaking isn't about standing on a stage. It's making an impact every time that you speak. And this session will provide you with the tools to do just that with our very special speaker for today. But before that, for those joining us for the first time, any newcomers coming in today? Okay, so my intro is for you. Let me briefly introduce who we are as Thai. We are a global organization that started in Silicon Valley back in 1992. And now we are in 12 countries with over 65 chapters, and Thai Dubai is one of them. Globally, we operate on 5 main pillars, and that's mentoring, networking, education, funding, and incubation. But as a chapter here in Dubai, we run 3 main programs to tailor to support our local community of entrepreneurs. So the first one is, okay, this is about Thai Dubai. So we have our mentorship program, which is a 12-month transformative journey where mentees in the cohort, it runs every year. They're matched with seasoned mentors in our charter member network. And then we have the Thai Women MENA program, where we support women entrepreneurs. And then the third is the Thai U MENA program, where we work with universities to support early stage business ideas. If you'd like to know more about any of these programs, feel free to reach out to me after the event, or even Cicely, our executive director. To stay updated on all our events and programs, you can find us on all our social media platforms under Thai Dubai, TIE Dubai, and also our WhatsApp community. So just scan the QR code and you'll get in. This is how this is where we upload all our events, our programs, all announcements related to Thai Dubai. Finally, we'd like to thank all our charter members here, our board members and partners, including DIC, N5, Skyline University, Ask Pankaj, and also Tonic Worldwide for all their support. Without them, everything that we do would not be possible. So before we dive into today's session, I'd actually like to hand it over to the powerhouse of our events, our events director, Bianca Gracias. Bianca, over to you.
Thank you. I'll make it quick and snazzy. Welcome back to everybody coming back. It's so good to see familiar faces. It's good to see new faces too. Don't get me wrong. I hope I see you again. The only good thing or not so good thing is we're going to slow down over Ramadan because we had a bit of dissension between ourselves. We didn't know when would be the right time to host our event. Would everybody be hungry, be hangry, be angry? So we just said, you know what? We're just going to host a suhoor. So during the month of March, we're only going to have host a suhoor with Angel Spark, which is our sister concern, as some of you may know, at N5 as well, by the pool. So that should be the only event. And then in April, we're going to have 2 events. So if you follow us on our community, that's where we post all our events. We're going to have 2 events in April. One will be Mastering Series A. That's going to be run by Kartha, which is an organization out of US. We've got a very special speaker coming in to speak with us. And then we've got TikTok that's going to come and teach us to do videos for business in April. So if you are fun, you want to learn something through fun, come to those 2 events. And we've got a massive speaker lineup coming up for May, June, July. We're going to set the stage on fire, hopefully, inshallah, as they say. So I'm going to introduce Muneer Al Busaidi, who's full of energy, full of fun. Who's ever followed a boring hype man after all, right? So Muneer has trained hundreds of speakers. He's worked with hundreds of personalities around the world. He's an international speaker. He has trained leaders at Apple, Google, PwC, Etihad Airways, Dubai Executive Council, and here he is today gracing us with his presence. I feel very honored, and I'm sure at the end of this, you're going to feel inspired to lead with confidence. So Muneer, thank you so much for being here today. Over to you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, at the last Olympics, during the 100-meter race, there was one number that stood out. 0.03 seconds. This was the difference between two things. Who can guess what that was? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. You are completely wrong, but you are the first to answer. And ladies and gentlemen, participation and passion does pay off. And I'm not beyond bribing you to participate. So, who else had an answer? Someone here. Yes, sir. What was your answer?
Difference between first and the second.
Okay, here you go. Thank you very much. Anyone else? No, you're also wrong. Yes. Hey, you don't ask, you don't get. I like it. Go for it. Yes. No, but I like that answer. I've never heard that. One last guess. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. Here you go. You're also wrong. But I like that answer. No, ladies and gentlemen, it was the difference between first place and fourth place. And why do I bring this up? What does first place get? What does first place get? Gold. Fame, fortune, endorsements. Go to someone's house and they're like, my beta is first place. What does fourth place get? Nothing, zilch, nada. You should have been a doctor. And the difference between everything and nothing, 0.03 seconds. And when it comes to presenting, when it comes to making an impact, when it comes to persuading people, to communicating well, sometimes the difference between everything and nothing, 0.03 seconds. And I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, so these are the actual results. I truly believe that you are one presentation away. You are one presentation away from uniting people or dividing people. You are one presentation away from being accepted or rejected. You are one presentation away from creating a trend or being forgotten. But here's the challenge. Here's today's challenge when it comes to presentations. Here's the challenge today. Everyone's fighting for your attention. There are documentaries. Go and watch Netflix. There are lots of documentaries that will tell you that the science that goes behind everyone trying to fight for your attention every single moment, every single day. People are subjected to over 4,000 marketing messages a day. And because of that, our attention spans are shrinking. Shrinking. We don't even have the attention span of a goldfish. I know. And on top of that, when we go onto social media, guess what? Everyone's so perfect. We go and we look at every single person you see. Oh my God, everyone's confident. Every single person is confident. All of these families are happy. Why are my kids crying and those kids are not? We have this illusion. And so we have this imposter syndrome. And guess what? The reality is the number one fear in the world. People think of this fear more than death. Public speaking. People would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy. It's the number one fear. And we don't talk about it. And the harsh reality is we think, hey, I got to be smart. I have to have the best product. I have to be the smartest person. And yet, even if you are smart or you have the best product, if you cannot communicate it well, it means nothing. And so, today, my objective, why I'm here, I just came here today to help you, perhaps impart a couple of tips so that you can get remembered, referred, and rewarded. Remembered, referred, and rewarded. And so, before we do any of that, I want to get to know you all. So may I ask a little favor? Can I ask you to all please stand up for me for a second? Please all stand up. We're going to do a little bit of a speed getting to know you. I would like you to please sit down if you have been in the UAE for 7 months or less, or you are visiting. So only sit down if you've been in the UAE 7 months or less, or you're visiting. Can we all wave? Hi, what's your name? Shashank. Everyone wave to Shashank. And sir, what's your name over there? Rahul. Hey, say hi, Rahul. Welcome. See, these guys, they didn't know. They've only experienced the bad traffic. They don't know that a few months ago it was easier, right? And say yeah, over here. Yes, hi, what's your name? Amit. Hi, Amit. And Raghu. Great to see you guys. Okay, now I want you to sit down only if you have 2 siblings or more. 2 siblings or less. Only sit down if you have 2 siblings or less. A lot of the Asian families, they're standing like, yeah. Yeah, my parents didn't know. They were going strong. Okay, good. Okay, great. Now, sit down if you don't have a pet. Oh, no. None of you have a pet? Okay, let's say. You used to have. Okay. I want to talk to someone who does have a pet. Anyone here have a pet? Yes. Okay, so what's your pet's name?
2. There are 2 of them, Cola and Luna.
Cola and Luna. By the way, it's just a random question. I love to get to know the audience. I get these like big guys, shaved heads, big tattoos, and he goes, "What's your pet's name?" And they go, "Fluffy." So, what's your pet's name? Oh, you're safe. Okay, great. Does she know? Okay. Who else had one? Yes.
I have
2 pet geckos. 2. Who has geckos as a pet? Amazing. Did someone sell it to you, or did you just? Great. Okay. Excellent. Amazing. And what did you call your geckos? I like that. Drowsy and Peppy. Anyone else want to? Yes, sir. Scooby. I like it. Okay. I gotcha. And did you put up your hand? Yes? Obi. Nice. Star Wars inspired. Sort of. I feel you. I got you. Okay, well, this was my speed getting to know you, and I appreciate. May I just introduce myself at a deeper level for you? Yeah? So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I was not born with any confidence. This was me. Can I please get an aw? Stop it, guys. Stop it. Stop it some more. No, okay. I was, like growing up, I used to truly believe that people were born with confidence. People were born with the ability to communicate, and I believed that I was not born with that. I had really bad eyesight growing up. Just to give you an idea, my eyesight was so bad. If a normal person put on my glasses, they would see back in time, okay? I put my glasses on the TV. It picked up Showtime one day. That was impressive because Showtime didn't even exist in those days, right? And so I was not born with the ability to communicate effectively. In fact, I started to improve as I was growing up, but I want to also take you back to, another time. But before I do, I want to ask this question of you. Have you ever been in a situation where the next few words that are about to come out of your mouth are literally going to change the course of your life? Does anyone know what I mean? Perhaps it's getting a job. Maybe it's scoring the deal of a lifetime. Maybe it's a kid trying to get a PlayStation. Or maybe it's, I don't know, just trying to impress a certain someone. I don't know. And you know that if you mess it up, if you fail, it can forever change things. If you take a wrong turn, it's almost as bad as taking a wrong turn in Dubai. You're like 3 minutes away on GPS. You take the wrong turn, it's like updated 3 years. Arrival. What happened? So I want to take you back to the start of my career. And can I get an ooh? Yes, I was half the man I am today. This was the start of my career. I went to Bahrain and I joined Gulf Air as a management trainee. And I want to take you to one moment in time in particular, because we were in the training room and it had been 2 years since I joined, and there was a bit of tension in the air. There's a bit of a buzz because we all knew that our training manager was going to come in and make an announcement. And so there's a bit of a buzz, there's a bit of tension, and then our manager, training manager, Fauzi, he walks into the room and it's like someone hit mute. And he comes in and he goes, trainees, you're nearing the end of your training program. You've been a management trainee for 2 years. You've worked in all the different departments, and now the CEO wants to give you an opportunity of a lifetime. You have been asked to present to the CEO and the chiefs requesting the department that you want to go into. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And he goes, use it wisely, go off. You've experienced all the departments. You probably know which one you want to go into. So he goes off and everyone starts talking. What department do you want to go into? What department? I knew what department I wanted to be in. I wanted to be next to Shakira. Now, you don't know what that means just yet, but let me tell you, because you see, I know I look like I'm 18, but at this point in time, I'm in my early 20s, and this is when the Formula One had just come to Bahrain, and it was the first country in the Gulf the Formula One had ever come to. And Gulf Air was the main sponsor. So they had a whole events department that had been created. The events department was responsible for throwing all the best parties. All the celebrities would come into the best parties. And I wanted to meet Shakira, because those hips don't lie. So I'm like, I knew which department I wanted to be in. They wanted me, I wanted them, the department that's responsible for all the parties. And I knew that if I got in, I would be the VIP of all VIPs in the whole of Bahrain. Like, everyone's going to want to do events with me. My name would have been made, right? And if I didn't get it, I would go back to every weekend going to the bouncer being like, wallah, you know the DJ, he has a cousin and his cousin has hamster. I know the hamster. Wallah al-azim. Please let me in, please. So I knew that if I could make it, this would be me. And so I was like, I cannot mess this presentation up. I really wanted to do a good job. So I go to the strategy department. I knew the manager over there. I was like, please, just help me build a logical case why they should have me in this department. So he helped me out, and I had an airtight, logical case. I went to the visual communications department. I knew the guys in visual communications. I went, guys, please help me out. I have to nail this presentation. I have to make an amazing impression. The guys in Viscoms, they all went, huddled round. They started speaking to each other. They said, Muneer, how many slides you got? I said, I have 6 slides. They went, and they said, Muneer, you're not going to present slides. You are going to present a cube. We are going to put each one of your slides on one side of the cube. And I went, brilliant. We're not going to think outside the box. We're going to create the box. I love this. And so they created a cube. And it looked amazing. It looked amazing. So the day comes. What's that? Yeah, I wish. You can look at this and imagine. But it was similar to this. I promise you. It was, just a little bit bigger. So the day comes. We're standing we get invited. We go into the boardroom. And this boardroom has like lush carpet, this big mahogany desk. And it was very cold. Even like all the chiefs are there. They're cold faces. And we're all just waiting. And I have my cube in my hand. And I have my notes in my other hand. And then they say, Muneer, and I go, hi, sir. Yeah, please. Okay. Oh, why is my mouth so dry? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. And my breathing starts to go deeper, and my voice starts wavering. I look down at my notes, and my hands are shaking. But I look at the CEO, and he's actually smiling. He's like, He's not reading it. He's just looking at it. And then he looks up at me, and he realizes I'm not saying anything. Looks back at that. Finally, I kind of get myself together and I start speaking. But mind goes blank. And then I look up, but at this point I've lost most of the chiefs. Everyone's, people have got their phones out and everything. The CEO, he'd been like this, and then he takes his phone and he's just looking at his phone. And then at one point, he realizes I've stopped talking, mainly because sound wasn't coming out. And he goes, Muneer, and I promise you, this is what happened. He goes, Muneer, marketing. And just like, marketing, the place with the cubicles where dreams go to die. At least that in our department. And just like that, trajectory of my life, the plans that I had made, all gone. And I was low-key depressed for a few days. I was at home and I was sitting and thinking about it. And I was sitting there going, how can I, what? And I was like, I had a logical case. I had the perfect logical case. I had the skills. They wanted me. I wanted them. I knew I could do it. I knew I would be good at it. I had the perfect case. I had the perfect looking slides. I had a box. And the reason I messed up, the reason I didn't get what I want, is because I messed up the presentation, my communication. It had let me down. Have you ever been in a situation where in your life where something doesn't go your way, and because something doesn't go your way, or something bad happens, and because of it you say, never again? Who knows what I'm talking about? I said, never again. I said, never again am I going to mess up a presentation. Never again am I going to let communication get in the way of me getting what I want. Because I had everything, but I did not capture their attention. I did not keep their attention. I did not communicate my points. Even though I had the best points. Even though I had everything that it took. So I started out, we were talking about Toastmasters. I said, that's all it took. I just said, I wanted to be an excellent communicator. I did not know how. The first thing I saw, I was like, oh, Toastmasters, let me go there. Then at Toastmasters, I was like, oh, you have world champions of public speaking? Let me go and interview them. Let me go, and I became addicted. I started traveling around the world, learning from every single expert I could meet on human behavior. I took advantage. I was in the airline, I got cheaper flights. I took advantage. I started traveling everywhere. I started learning about the mind. I started learning all types of communication, conscious and unconscious. Interviewed 8 world champions, and I became fearless. I started speaking everywhere. I applied what I learned. I wrote a book. I got featured on Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. I was once customer of the month at KFC. We don't talk about that time. It was a hard time. And today,
let's go. Make no excuses now. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. Let's go. Your time is running out. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. It's not about what you've done. It's about what you're doing. It's all about where you're going, no matter where you've been. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's now or never. Oh, let's go. Tonight is good. Tonight is better. Oh, let's go.
and yeah, I've worked with a lot of different organizations, and I don't share this with you to impress you. I share this with you because I want to impress upon you that wherever it is you are in your journey of your communication, of how well you communicate, how confident you are, I promise you there's another level. And hopefully today I want to impart upon you, compress some decades into just a few minutes with you. But I want to share with you a couple of techniques that will help you to take it to another level. Does this sound good? Can I get a yes? Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, stop it. Stop it. And so I've been in the corporate world and I've sat through a lot of bad presentations, and I don't want you to do any of that. So quick couple of expectations for what we are about to do. I'm just going to be very quick. What I'm going to share with you today, especially when it comes to the structure element, I'm going to give you a powerful recipe. Now, I will give you a powerful recipe. One of you is going to come and say, but I'm gluten intolerant. Fine, replace it. That's okay, right? But what I'm going to give you is a recipe that works most of the time. Does this make sense? I get that some elements can be switched out. Also, I am not here to do what's easy. I'm here to give you the most benefit in the shortest amount of time that's possible. And so what I'm going to do, at some point, I'm going to ask you to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And I'm going to do some techniques that will help you, as proven by neuroscience, to help you to remember and implement some of these things. It will feel a little uncomfortable, a little weird, but you'll understand why I have asked you to do it a little bit afterwards. Does this make sense? Great. So, we're talking about the 3 pillars of powerful persuasion. And the first pillar that I like to talk about is your psychology. And the psychology. Now, there's 2 aspects to psychology. One is understanding your audience, reading your audience, and all those things. I'm not going to cover that today because I want to cover the other aspect, which is understanding yourself and being able to control your thoughts versus your thoughts controlling you. How many people here have given a presentation or anything and felt some nerves? Okay, just look around the room. And you know, the reason I like to ask this question is because I do this training very, very frequently. And every single time on the first day, I ask everyone to list out all their problems. And the number one fear is like everyone wants the skills, the this, how do I do it, everything. But the number one thing that most people need is just that bit of confidence to be able to speak. And so let's do, I'm going to talk you through a bit of your psychology. We're going to understand ourselves and take things to another level. Now, when it comes to how we think, there are three ways that you process thoughts. What we're visualizing, what we're saying to ourselves, and what we're feeling. Okay? So I want you to just partner with one person. Partner with one person that you don't mind touching your arm. So just find someone next to you. In fact, everyone stand up, please. Everyone stand up. Partner with one person who you don't mind touching your arm. Okay? All right. To decide between you who's going to be person A and who's going to be person B. Okay? Person A, turn to person B and say, as always, I'm going to let you go first. Okay. So, person B, I want you to put your arm out like this. Make a fist, put your arm out. Okay? Person A, now person B, with your arm and fist stretched out, I want you to say the words strong, 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 okay? And I want you to say it in a strong voice, okay? And person A, I just want you to test how strong their arm is, okay? So go for it. Okay, wait. Sorry. Some of you are like, this is WWE. You're like, ah, no. Just test, okay? Just test, all right? Now, what I want you to do is now I want you to go, person B, I want you to say, weak, weak, weak. And person A, test it, push their arm down, see which one, weak. Okay? Now, did you notice that the arm became weaker? Yes? 1 second. 1 second took away your power. 1 second. It took away your power just by changing what you're saying to yourself. Isn't that crazy? How many of you talk to yourselves? There's a person over there going, do I talk to myself? They estimate that over 70% of our thoughts are negative. And around 60% of our thoughts are repetitive. So we say the same crap to ourselves over and over again. And it makes us weaker. But I want you to try this. So first of all, what do you think the answer is? What should we do instead? Positive talk. You're wrong. Switch. So now, person A, put out your arm. Okay. First of all, person A, go strong. Person B, it's your turn. Push their arm down. Make sure how strong it is. Okay, now. Person B, this is what I want you to do. I want you to say the word strong. Once again, I mean, positive talk, right? Say the word strong, but say it like a 4-year-old girl who just dropped her ice cream. Strong. Okay, and person A, test it. Yeah, whichever, one of you is testing. And did you notice it was weak? Sorry, because of time, I'm not letting you compare all three, but it's sometimes weaker than even saying weak. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so many of us, we go and we're like, okay, you can do this. You got this. You're confident. And your mind doesn't believe you. Does this make sense? Okay, so take a seat. So when it comes to controlling your thoughts versus your thoughts controlling you, the first thing that we want to do is take control of what we are saying to ourselves. The second aspect is what we visualize. Now, so many of us, we have this picture in our head of oh my God, what if I mess up? What if the person doesn't pay attention? What if this happens? What if that happens? So what I want you to do is you're going to turn to someone next to you. First of all, think of all of the wrong things that can happen, okay? So just think of, oh my God, what if my presentation messes up? Blah, 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 blah. Just think about it in your head. Don't say anything, just think about it. And then just look at the person and say, hi, welcome. Okay? So just think about it in your head. Okay? Let's do person B. We'll say it to person A. Okay. Now, I want you to do one thing. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to visualize someone that you really care about. Someone that you really care about. Someone that you, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's OB, I don't know. Just, visualize someone that you truly care about. Someone that you really want good things for. Imagine looking into their eyes as you visualize this. And picture them. Picture their face. In fact, say to yourself just like, I really want good things for you. And now open your eyes and turn to the person next to you and say, hi, it's great to meet you. And notice there was a difference, right? Because look, I can't teach you how to do micro muscle expressions and all those things. But I can tell you that if you visualize good things, literally every part of your body starts to align. When you visualize crap, you tense up and you're a bit on edge. And because you're a bit on edge, we have these things called mirror neurons. Your audience will start to feel on edge. I hadn't met any of you, but I pictured you laughing before you came. I pictured us having a good time. I pictured a connection. And so now I feel, I don't worry about making the jokes. I just do them. And hopefully you laugh sometimes. I just every once in a while, I just really hope it happens. And so when you visualize things, a lot of things happen. They've done a number of studies with sports teams. And when sports teams visualize their exercise effectively, it's almost as good as doing perfect exercise. Michael Phelps, #1 Olympian of all time. Well, at least before this last Olympics. I don't know now. Every morning and every night he used to visualize himself doing the perfect exercise. There is real power in terms, and I'm not talking about, hey, manifestation, none of that. I'm just literally talking about your micro muscles align and you will seem more approachable. You will seem more comfortable. You will seem like you care more, and people pick up on it at an unconscious level. Does this make sense? And then finally, the third aspect of controlling your thoughts versus your thoughts controlling you is what we do with our body, our kinesthetic. How would you like to know a simple technique that will help you to reduce your stress by 20% in under 3 minutes and increase your confidence? Who would like to know? Yeah? Okay, those of you that like to know, come over here. No. You might have seen before I was coming up, I was standing a little bit like this because Amy Cuddy at Harvard University did a study, and she found that when you stand in a power pose, actually, let me rewind very, very quickly. If I told you there's a depressed person behind that door, and I said, hypothetically, 1,000 dirhams to your favorite charity, if you could describe their body language, is their head up or is their head down? Down. Are their shoulders open or are their shoulders closed? Are they taking up a lot of body space or are they shrinking themselves? Are they moving fast or are they moving slow? We all know what depressed physiology looks like, right? I had the opportunity to volunteer at the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Special Olympics, people that, of determination come from all over the world with different challenges, some Down syndrome, all sorts of things. All ages, by the way. And where I volunteered was the award ceremony. Every single one of them, didn't matter their age, their nationality, their religion, it didn't matter how old they were, it didn't matter what language they spoke, it didn't matter if they could speak or not. It didn't matter what challenge they were going through. Every single one of them, because I was at the award ceremony, celebrated the same way. Were their shoulders open or were their shoulders closed? Open. Was their head up or was their head down? Were they taking up a lot of body space or were they shrinking themselves? A lot of body space. You all know what peak physiology looks like, and you all know what bad physiology looks like. And the crazy thing is, we think it's our emotions that creates our physiology. But Amy Cuddy at Harvard University proved that our physiology creates our emotions. So if you stand like this in the champion pose, for 3 minutes, it reduces your cortisol levels by 20%. Increases your testosterone by 20%. In just 2 to 3 minutes. And you know what happens if you do the opposite? And guess what most of us do? We got our phone, we wait to go up, and I'm on my phone like this. Head down, shrinking body, shoulders closed, and it has the opposite effect. And so literally, before, when I started my speaking journey, I would literally go to the bathroom before I'd go up on stage, and I'd go into a stall and I'd stand there, I'd visualize good things, I'd say good things. One day, the door wasn't locked, someone walked in and I went, "I'm finished! You are welcome to go, sir." But literally just standing like this. So people were like, why? Take a seat. And I'm like, no, I like to stand. And what I do is I plant my feet. And so the next element I want to talk, so this is the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And I want to give you one simple technique. So before you go and speak, what I would recommend that you do, just go into a bathroom stall and power pose just for a couple of minutes. Don't do it in front of the stage, in front of people. But then when you come and you speak, I'm going to ask you to plant your feet. What is planting your feet? May I ask you to come up for a second? Please give our amazing model, he's flown in all the way from France, a huge round of applause. Now, you look like you've been to the gym, you've worked out a couple of times in your life, yes? Hopefully. Now, what I want you to do is very simple. Your left ear, by the way, do you mind? I'm going to push you. Is that okay? Do we have any lawyers here? Yes. Okay, great. I'm covered, right? Consent is there? Okay, great. Okay, so all I want you to do is pay attention to your left ear. That's all, okay? Just pay attention to left ear. So pay attention to your left ear. And just notice how easy it was for me to push him over, okay? Now, all I want you to do now is I want you to plant your feet, which is basically keep your feet shoulder width apart, okay? And when I say planting your feet, I want your heel and like just everything touching the floor, not to the side, not to this. And I want you to pay attention to your belly button, okay? So just focus on your belly button, okay? Okay, right. Focus on your core. And notice how much more grounded he is. Did you notice? Please give him a huge round of applause. Thank you. That was an amazing demonstration. I'm going to give you some cookies. So what happens? What do most people come and they do when we speak? And what happens is we want to comfort ourselves, and so we lean, fidget, and you're literally off balance. As soon as you're doing this, you're literally off balance. Someone can push you over. You are not grounded. When you come and stand before you begin a presentation, I suggest plant your feet, and this sends a signal to your mind that you are confident. But when I talk about psychology, I said it's not just what you think and feel, it's also what your audience thinks and feels, right? What do you feel if I'm doing this. And what do you feel when I stand here and speak like this? Do you notice the difference? If you want your audience to feel confident about what you're talking about, look confident. Now, sometimes it's a bit of a fake it till you make it, right? But when you plant your feet, you're literally sending a signal to your mind. Because literally, if you're doing this and you're comforting yourself because you're stressed. So your body is telling your mind you're stressed, and you get stressed even more. But when you plant your feet, even when you don't feel like it, you're literally sending a signal to your brain, and it takes a couple of minutes, but you're sending a signal saying that you're confident. Does this make sense? Okay. And finally, can we get, who wants to come up? I want 2 volunteers. Okay. So let's get you, please, to come up, and yourself. Now we're going to have a bit of a race. Now we're going to do it one at a time. And does anyone have a timer that wants to time them? We're going to time them one at a time. Okay, hold on. Okay.
After one?
Yes, you have to.
It's not fair.
Okay. Do you want to go up against someone that heals, or are we just you're gonna prove that it doesn't matter what? Okay. All right. So let's just start from here, and you're going to run to the back of the room, and you're going to run to the back of the room and come back. And if the ball drops, you will have to start again. We're going to time you to see how long it takes. Is anyone going to be our designated timer? Yes, excellent. Okay, are you ready? We're going to see. Okay, on your marks, now if you drop it, you have to start again. Okay, all right.
Do I stop the timer when she drops?
Yes, we'll have to start it again. Okay, all right. On your marks, get set, go. Yes. Okay. Yes, and come back, and come back, and come back. Excellent. Beautiful. No. Yeah. Yeah. We'll allow it. We'll allow it. Okay. Thank you. You have to beat that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well done. That was amazing. Okay. Are we ready? Yeah. Would you like some heels to make it fair? No. Okay. All right. On your marks, get set, go. No, you can't hold the ball though. You can't hold the ball though.
Am I holding?
Yes, you're holding.
This is holding?
Yeah, but okay, let's do it again. I don't want you to. You can't hold that. You gotta. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. We're gonna do this again. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? On your marks. Yeah. It's already taken sides. I like this. On your marks, get set, go. And well, all right, I'll give it to you. Okay, and all right. Well, there you go. So, let me. You know what? I'm gonna give both of you a chocolate. Thank you. Please take a seat. Thank you very much. I was really hoping one of you would drop the ball. Yeah. So what happens whenever I do these exercises? When I do a full-on training, I give people a number of exercises that are similar to this. And what happens sometimes is someone will go and the ball drops. They feel the pressure build inside, so now they go back and they start again, but now they want to go faster, and it drops again, even faster, and faster, and we make more mistakes until they learn how to speed up slowly. Does this make sense? And I do this with a number of exercises. I do this. I do one of those card houses, building towers. And every single one of them is the same because our stress response in life is generally the same. How many of you have ever gone blank in a presentation? Look at that. What happens when we go blank? So, And I want to talk to you about this, and sorry, and now they're like a DJ. What happens is we feel a bit of stress. We want to speed up. When we try to speed up, our brain doesn't connect with our mouth, and we start to and ah. The pressure builds. When the pressure builds, your mind goes blank. I want to share with you. Now, I am sharing with you techniques that I promise you I have used every single one of these. These have worked for me. They've worked for every single one of my clients. I'm not sharing with you techniques that sound easy to do. This one requires a tiny bit of work. It requires a tiny bit of practice, and it's going to seem weird. But I promise you that if you do this exercise, it will transform your speaking. So what happens, especially for some of us, we're entrepreneurs, you're a visual person. What happens when you're a visual person? Visual people, your mouth is trying to keep up with the pictures in your head. So we speak very quickly. And what happens is you can speak very quickly in normal life, but the challenge is when you're doing a presentation and your brain needs to connect to you, to remember as well, there's a misconnect. And in your audience, you will have visual people, but you'll also have auditory people who are more rhythmic, and you'll have kinesthetic people. They just want to feel. Now, the challenge is if you're constantly over here, if this is your base, if you're speaking fast all the time, then you will likely make mistakes. But can anyone give me a topic, just a random topic to talk about? Art. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about a very fascinating subject. I want to speak to you about art. They say that art is in the eye of the beholder, and the value that comes from art can come from the stories that you tell. Now, I've asked for a random subject, but what I want you to notice is even though I had no idea what I was going to talk about, by slowing down and speaking to a rhythm, my ums, my ahs, they're all gone. Because my brain has time to connect and speak. So I can talk about art, I can talk about Obi, I can talk about any of your pets, including Scooby. And people think that speaking slow is boring, but we have all grown up loving rhythm. Speaking in a bit of a rhythm is very powerful. Now, I don't need to speak slow all the time, but this needs to be my base. And every once in a while, I can go faster, but then come back to this, because this is easier to maintain. My mind has no way of going blank, because I'm just giving time for my brain to connect with my mouth. Does this make sense? And what I want you to notice is now that the music is off, because I've practiced this quite frequently, you'll notice that I actually speak in a bit of a rhythm. You can notice that now because the music's gone. Does this make sense? Now, I highly recommend you find a bit of a track that you can practice slowing your speaking down to, and allow yourself, and this, I promise you, will remove your ums and ahs. It will remove that blank, your mind going blank, because the mind only goes blank when the stress level goes up and you try to speed up. Are you guys finding this useful so far? Give me a yes. Yes. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so we spoke about the first element, which is the psychology. And so the second element that I want to talk to you about is structure. How many of you have ever wondered, like, how do I structure my talk? Or have you thought, like, how am I going to remember what I'm going to say? How many of you have ever experienced this? Yes? Okay, excellent. And so the structure is very powerful. And before I talk about, let's do this. We're going to have another competition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your phones away, put your pens away. Nothing that you can do to remember. We're going to do a little memory game. I want to see how good your memory is. I am going to read a list of 22 items. Thank you. She likes that. 22 items. That's all. I don't even need to have a punchline. I just need to say 22. Okay, all right. So I'm going to read a list of 22 items. Change the number. Yeah. Not 23, not 21, 22. 22 is the number, 22. I'm going to read to you a list of 22 items. I want you to see how many you can remember. Please don't cheat. Please don't ask the person next to you what it was. Just see for yourself. At the end of the time, we don't have pens and papers. You can take out your phone. I will count you down. So you don't start as soon as I finish. I want you to count down for 15 seconds. And then you can make a note of what you remember. Okay? And let's see who remembers the most. Are you ready? Right. Chocolate, telephone, car, tree, light bulb, fish, tea, headphones, tornado, not tornado, tomato, chair, jacket, mouse, water, sand, eagle, laptop, glass, helmet, tissue, road, shoe, giraffe. Now, I'm going to count for 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, and see what you can remember. How are we doing on time? Okay. And 5. That's all right. That's all right. That's okay. It's okay. Okay. Count how many did you remember? Just 5, 10, 8, 10, 8. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. I want to know how many of you remembered chocolate? Put your hands up. Notice, look around the room. Most people remember the first thing. Just put your hand up one at a time. Telephone, car, tree, light bulb, fish, tea, headphones, tomato, tornado. Now look at that. By the way, I did that on purpose. Do you know why? Because you wouldn't have remembered it unless I made a big deal out of the mistake that I made. People won't remember the mistakes you make unless you make a big deal out of it. Chair, yeah. Jacket, mouse, water, sand, eagle, laptop, glass, helmet, tissue, road, shoe. How many of you remember giraffe? Notice that. And why do I say this? Because when we talk about structure, look at this. There's something called, in memory, there's something called the primacy and recency. The first and the last thing that you hear. What are the first things that most people do in their presentation? Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. Yeah. Most people's first seconds are wasted. What do most people end their presentations with? Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Right? So I'm going to just share with you a very, very, very quick, simple system. Can I get you all to stand up and do this with me? Because I think this is going to help you to remember. I'm going to ask you to use your body, and it will help you to remember both this section and the next section, okay? So, the first section is, well, there's the rule of 3 as well. Your brain can hold on to 5 plus or minus 2 bits of information. Think of your phone number, and usually, like for example, 05066, it's in chunks. Even though there are 3 numbers in one chunk, it's a chunk. You probably have about 5 or less chunks for your phone number. Think of your phone number and give me a yes if it's 5 or under, yes? Yeah, okay. So you want to group things in 3. So there's, the first section is attention, okay? Relevance. This is the arc structure, and then conclusion. So I have 3, and then each of them is broken into 3. I have a hook, I have intro, I have topic. That's it. So when I do, so I want you to do this with me, because later I'm going to just share with you about tonality and how to use your body for tonality, okay? So I just want you to say, this is my hook. Now, we start off with a hook because we want to grab people's attention. And then you introduce yourself. So, hi everyone, my name is. And today I'm going to talk about. That's the attention. Hook, intro, topic. So, this is my hook. Hi everyone, my name is. And today I'm going to talk about. Okay, great. So, and then we go into relevance. Now, I like to ask a question. By the way, sometimes my hook is a question, but a question because, let me just do this. Question, why, and then 3. So, questions make it an interaction, right? It goes from you talking to a conversation. So, question is just very simply, has anyone ever, yeah? This is important because. So now, so I basically, so you go your hook, intro, and then your topic, and then just a very quick interaction, and then your why. Simon Sinek, his book, Start With Why. One of the most famous TED Talks on YouTube, right? Start with why. When you tell people why it's important, they are enrolled. The reason I'm doing this or asking you to do the physical body language is when you move your body a certain way, it changes your tonality, right? So I just want you to try this. So this is important because. And then you go point 1, point 2, and point 3. So just try that. Just go point 1, point 2, point 3. Now, when you physically mark out your points on a stage or on a Zoom screen, point 1, point 2, point 3. I can do it. Let me just demonstrate this, right? So, I grew up in Oman. I'm from Oman, and I grew up in Oman. And then one day I went to university in England, and then I went back to. See? You already know. You can mark out different things. You can mark out locations. You can mark out points. And if I come over here, I'm going to start talking to you about psychology. If I come over here, I'm talking to you about structure. And when I come over here later, I'll start talking to you about delivery. But right now, let's go back to structure. Okay? Does this make sense? And I'm going to go through this very quickly, but the rule of 3 is it's very easy to remember 3. And when it's like, I can remember the 3 things. And then when I go over here, I know that this folder has 3 things inside of it. Does this make sense? It's very easy to remember. And then, conclusion. How do most people finish their talks? What do most people do when they finish their talks? Do you have any questions? Now, that's an important thing to ask, but you don't want it to be your final thing. So I will always ask here. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? No? Great. And then I'll recap and I'll go, today I spoke to you about point 1, point 2, point 3, and then my close is going to be very similar to my hook. It's going to be a closing of my hook. Let me just recap and close. So what do I mean by that? I start my talk sometimes and I say, 75% of all people have a fear of public speaking. 1, 2, 3. Any question? No? Recap? No? And that's how you become one of the 25% that is confident. Thank you very much. You see what I mean? Okay? So when your hook and your close, it becomes a nice little circle, like a nice little bow on it. Make sense? All right, take a seat, take a seat. Thank you. In the interest of time, I just wanted to, does this make sense? Usually I'd get you to go through it a couple more times. Please feel free to take a picture. Yeah? Okay. The primacy and recency. Yeah, when we talk about phone numbers, that's the ARC framework. And then our final point. Anyone here been to Lucky Voice in Dubai? Yes? Okay. For those of you that haven't, it is a karaoke place. So it's in 2023, on my 18th birthday, my friend... You as well. Wow. On my birthday, my friend Tony decides to take me to Lucky Voice. We go to Lucky Voice and he's like, Muneer, it's your birthday. You go first. So Lucky Voice is a karaoke place. You walk in, there's a big screen over there. They give you a remote. There's thousands of songs. And so you go through and I'm like, okay, I'll go first. And I start looking. And my friend Tony's like, Yalla, come on. So I've only gotten to B. So I pick the first song I know and I pick Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. Anyone know it? My friend Tony goes, oh, that's my favorite song. I go, I got you, Tony. Grab the mic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it was my birthday. So in the words of 50 Cent, I'm a party like it's my birthday. I grab the mic and I go, wow, living on a prayer, living on a prayer. And Tony's smile just goes, Muneer, 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 Muneer. Muneer. And I'm like, what, Tony? Muneer, who sings that song? I go, Bon Jovi. He snatches the mic and he goes, Muneer, let Bon Jovi sing it. Now I cry myself to sleep for 3 days. And I think about it. I had the same exact music that Tony loved. I had the same exact words that he loved. What took it from an experience that he loved to something that he hated? Who can tell me? They were so mean to me and tied about it. I can't believe it. My delivery, not me. My delivery. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And they did a study in the 70s. Albert Mehrabian did a study at the 70s, and they found that 7% of communication are the words that we say. 38% is your tonality, and 55% is your body language. How many of you are parents? You have kids? Yeah? How many of you have parents? How many of you know parents? How many of you won't raise your hand no matter what question I ask? Allah Ysamah. And you know this is about, you're like, if you know, as a kid, you one day you just hear that beautiful Muneer, and you're like, oh, nice surprise, I'll run this way. One day it's like, Muneer, and that's Na'al surprise. You run the other way. That's like slipper surprise, right? Chappal. So 7% of what we say is the words. Now, this doesn't apply when you're talking about facts, but when you're conveying emotion, this is very true. Now, And this is crazy because most people just focus on the words. I focused on the words when I did my presentation, when I was doing that box. I focused on the words. And so it's like, okay, now I got to do this, but I'm going to give you a very simple thing. Very simple strategy. Because here's the good news. These two are connected. I want you to make yourself depressed. Like put a depressed body language. Put a depressed body language, head down, put a frown. Stop smiling. No smiling when you're depressed. Okay? Put a frown on your face. And in the happiest voice, I want you to say, I'm so happy. That was terrible. Okay, now everyone stand up, put a big smile on your face, put your hands in the air, huge smile. This is going to be a Colgate commercial, right? And I want you to say in your saddest voice, I'm so sad. How is your saddest voice happier than your happy voice? Because the way you move affects your moods. So when all you got to do is, if you want to change your tonality, is do something with your body, your tone will automatically follow. And that's why I was telling you to do this, because how many of you have a friend that tells you to go to that restaurant and they say, Wallah, you have to go to the restaurant. When they do this, you know they're serious. And now I trust it. Now he's conveyed certainty. So if you want to convey certainty, do the body language of certainty. Does this make sense? Okay. And so, I'd like to ask, before we wrap up, please take a seat. Do you have any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Muneer, in a corporate world,
Yes.
when people, we do our monthly reporting,
Of course.
KPIs,
Yes.
those things. So, it's all about numbers.
100%.
How do you tell a story with numbers?
Excellent. So, telling a story is one thing, but let's talk about how do you use this with numbers, right? Hook, right? I show a graph and I say, in a moment, I'm going to tell you this graph is actually going to put a smile on your face, and I'm going to tell you what this relates to in a minute. But first of all, hi everyone, welcome. Blah, 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 blah. Then, intro, topic, easy. Question, why? Now this, what we're going to cover today are the quarterlies, and this is critical because if we get this right, we will achieve our end of year targets. So, let's talk about what happened in the last quarter. In the last quarter, Okay, what do we plan for this? What are we planning? Okay, and what are the projections? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so any questions? No. Okay, so today I spoke to you about blah, blah, blah. Okay? And you can also tell a story with the numbers. We don't have time to go into the storytelling aspect, but think of marketing numbers were down. Like think of it as a character. So you can say, for example, marketing numbers were down. And if we didn't adjust it, then, so character has a problem. If you don't solve the problem, something bad is going to happen. So marketing numbers has a problem. We're down. If we don't solve it, we won't hit our target. And then what did you do? What's the outcome? So that it follows a story arc as well. And in over here, the why, your why can sometimes be a story. My why, today I told you about my story. That was a why, half intro. Make sense? Yeah. Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah. Okay, so 7% of, yeah, okay.
Let me try. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7% is words we say.
Yes.
And then over 30%.
38% is tonality and 55%
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you think they had mostly women in this research?
No, that research is very relevant to to communicating when you're trying to convey a feeling. Think of it this way, right? You watch a movie, as soon as the music goes, you know, it's the movie, the tonality is telling you how to feel. The music is telling you how to feel. We are hardwired to feel a certain way because of the tones that we receive. That statistic is different when you're talking about facts, because facts, there's no emotion conveyed in it. But this is, it's across men and women.
Because you know the common joke about women and
Yeah.
men, and women saying it's not what you said, it's how you said
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So-
When I do this, I tell the story. I'm like, you know, like I look, some of the guys, you've been there. I go to my wife. I said, "What's up?" And she says, "Nothing." I go, "Okay, great." But it's not what she said; it's how she said it.
So it's the same for men then.
And it's the same for men. You know, you ask someone, okay, did all this make sense to you? And they go, yeah. We all do it. We all do it to a certain degree. And
Thanks.
so learning how to read that as well as convey that is very important. So you'll notice that sometimes I want you to feel certain. Sometimes I want you to, what would you do? And I give you a questioning tonality to get your mind to think. So yeah, all of those work. Any other questions? Yes. A little bit less, but I've done it so much. And also, I have. Do you know the Disney ride, It's a Small World? Yeah? And if I just go, it's a small, and literally in your head, it just keeps playing the whole thing. And later you're going to be cursing me because I put it in your head. But now so what I did was I had like a ritual for creating confidence. And now I just think about it and my mind goes brrr, because I've done it so many times. And it's like when you start the beginning of the words for it's a small, and then your brain just continues. So now I don't need to do it as frequently. Every once in a while, look, nerves are good. And I think I do get a little bit, because I really care about doing a good job. And so I do get a little bit, but nowhere near what I used to be. And most of the time it's fun. And also in my head, it's funny, like in my head, I always have audiences laughing, like me connecting with people. And then when I go, it just happens. Because my micro expressions, everything about me has already had fun with you guys, so I'm already in a calmer, better mood. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes?
How has being a good public speaker translated into your personal life? What areas would you say developed within you as a person in general?
So, I mean, look, this is what I'm passionate about. Like, I moved into speaking and training full-time in 2020. Before that, I was heading up digital transformation for Etihad Airways, which I hated my life. It was a hard time. And so being able to speak, like I love interacting with people. I love people having insights. I love helping people. And so now it's allowed me to do what I love. It's allowed me to fulfill my passion. And it's allowed me in a lot of different areas. I'm able to communicate more effectively. I get more business. The reason I've gotten all these, like I've worked with so many amazing clients, is because I can communicate how I'm going to help them more effectively. Sorry?
Did you do training for entrepreneur? They do fundraising.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about if you have a main advice for that.
Great. So look, I think when I do a lot when it comes to pitching, not specifically fundraising, although I have a lot of friends that have done fundraising in rounds, etc. But I've helped a lot with pitching. But look, pitching, I think a lot of pitching is being able to communicate effectively the problem that you're solving. So it's a couple of things. You know, when I talked about the psychology, the psychology part, today I shared with you your own psychology. The other aspect to that is understanding your audience, understanding their problems, understanding the needs effectively enough to communicate that. And
Actually, you know that when it's coming to pitching, every investor or every audience you will meet, they are different, and you have to craft the story based on them.
exactly.
That's the hardest part as entrepreneur.
Exactly, exactly. So, and look, when I do my my full training, there's a whole module where I speak about understanding your audience, and I talk about how no two audiences are the same. And I talk about like, why would you go, like, would you go to Carrefour to get which is more valuable, going to Carrefour to get a suit or getting a tailor-made suit? Which one? Tailor-made. Why? Because it's made to fit you. And when, like, for example, I can do my training to the same to different people, and the skeleton is the same, but how I tailor it to the audience and what their needs are will always change. The examples that I give, the fact that I might bring up Scooby or Obi, right? I'm starting to tailor make it to every single audience. Now, when I talk about, you know, I have a whole framework for understanding your audience at a deeper level, and a big part of that is understanding their pain points, but also understanding who their role models are. Who, like, as soon as I'll just give you a very quick thing. When you, like, for example, if I am going to speak to someone, and I know that I'm going to pitch to this person, I will do my homework, and I know that this person is a big fan of Star Wars, or for example, I don't know, Bill Gates or whatever. Now, when I come and when I want something to support my idea, I will give like a Bill Gates. Bill Gates says, I'm not saying, Bill Gates is saying, you like Bill Gates, you respect Bill Gates, so therefore you respect my idea. Does this make sense? So you gotta do a little bit of your homework to understand your client. To influence people effectively, understand what already influences them.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You know that the result that we're seeking for when you pitch somebody
Yeah.
is not to impress him. You want him to open his checkbook and write a check, you know?
Yes, completely. And the way that they're going to do a check is they see there's a number of aspects to it. One is they see the value, and a lot of people have the logic. Two, when you convey, like, what is sales? Sales is a transference of emotion. So if you are hesitant when you are speaking to them, they will feel hesitant about your product and you. And that's why I only gave you one tonality, which was certainty. Certainty is the number one emotion that you can convey when you are speaking about a product. Because if I can say with certainty, this will help your audience, you will feel it. The other person can say it, but they won't feel it. Right?
Thank you.
Conviction, 100%. Conviction is hugely important.
You may have made thousands of speeches and presentations. Do you still prepare for every presentation today?
Right now, if you gave me a topic, I could prepare in 5 minutes.
But you do prepare.
I do prepare.
Because you have to analyze the audience and find out what will be a hook.
Yes.
And all that will require a presentation, specific time that you devote for presentation.
Sure. And also sometimes like a comedian, right? What do good comedians do? They go and they tell a lot of jokes, and they find out which jokes work, which ones where people laughed, and then the ones that people didn't. They go to the next place and they'll tell the jokes that people laughed, and they'll add a bit more. And so it just gets refined. So a lot of the stories that I've told you, I've told a lot of times. A lot of the jokes that I've told you, you know, I did a road show with a company. We were doing 12 countries in the space of like 3 months. You know, like every time the audience laughed, you know, after the 7th time, they were like, Muneer's going to tell that joke again. You know, like, but, you know, you do what works and what gets the...
Yeah, I'm just going to, in the interest of time, thank you so much, Muneer.
I'm going to do my close.
Okay.
So with regards to that, I just want to just recap today. So today I spoke to you about psychology I talked to you about having a powerful structure. And when you have a powerful structure, it's very memorable. And I spoke to you about the delivery because, as we said, when you can say things with conviction. And so today I talked to you about the 3 pillars of powerful persuasion. And when you have these 3 pillars, they give you that 0.03 that take you from nothing to everything. Thank you very much. If any of you would like to connect with me, that's my LinkedIn. When you go to my LinkedIn, it'll tell you to follow or click on more and connect, and then that way I can connect with you versus you just staring at me in the abyss. And also, if you'd like to connect with me on Instagram, it's at muneer.b.
I think I say for everybody when I say, wow, wasn't that a presentation? That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I feel planted. I feel like channeling my inner chi. Everything. Thank you very much.